welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I decided to do the Perfect Imperfections tag, but before we get into that, if you have not seen my face before, you should definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications because, you're subscribed, so you might as well know when I post, and when you turn on those post notifications, it tells you when I post, so yeah, or at least it should. So today I decided to do the Perfect Imperfections tag. Okay, so in the Perfect Imperfections tag, you're supposed to do 3 things that you don't like about yourself and 3 things that you do love about yourself, like physically. But I decided to switch the tag around and kind of do like my own thing. So I'm gonna throw those rules away. I really love this tag because it talks about insecurities. We all have insecurities, like every single one of us. And I feel like a lot of times you don't shed light on those insecurities. So many people go around looking at all these people. Like you and me, not only am I a YouTuber, but I'm also a watcher, I'm a viewer. A lot of times I'll look at people's YouTube channels or I look at people's Instagrams or whatever, and I'll see so many like beautiful people just like living their lives. And I know, like deep down I know that everybody has insecurities, but looking at their lives and seeing what they portray, it almost makes it look like they don't have anything that they're insecure about. And it's just comforting to know that everybody goes through those things. And I just want you to know that just because you have insecurities does not mean that you're not lovable or that you're not an amazing person or you're not beautiful. I just really want to get into it. I'd love to see like other YouTubers do it. So if you want to do it, I tag you. If you're watching this and you're a YouTuber, I tag you to do the Perfect Imperfections tag. Okay, without further ado, let's get into it. I decided to start off with the things that I do not like about myself. Okay, so the first thing that I like struggle a lot with is my hair. So when I was younger, I always looked at my peers and I would see girls with like long, flowy hair, and I was always envious of the girls that had long hair. And for me, it's just like, I don't know, like it's always been one of those insecurities of mine. Like I wish I had long, luscious, beautiful hair, but I don't. And it was always like a struggle for me to accept my hair. I don't know, like it's just always been one of those big insecurities of mine. The texture of my hair isn't the softest, so it's always hard to like do certain styles with it. And my hair, like a lot of girls, like when the wind blows in their hair, like it's fine or whatever. But like when the wind blows in my hair goes in like all different directions. I'm trying to love about myself, but every once in a while I'll just look at myself and be like, oh my gosh, like my hair is like... The next thing is I have this bump on my finger, right? And it's on my right hand. It's between my middle finger and my pinky finger. It doesn't hurt or anything, but like I write and I put pressure on that finger, so it like just developed a bump. And I never really was insecure about this. Like it was something that I never really worried about until somebody in my life who started to like comments on it, and I don't know what it was, but it just kind of opened the door for this insecurity. I don't know, but then when like people look at my hands, it makes me feel insecure. It makes me feel like my hands aren't like pretty, or like I don't know, like it's just a weird insecurity of mine that I have, but like it kind of bothers me sometimes. Yeah. The next thing, I'm gonna kind of dive into a different insecurity, not just physically but internally, and that is my sensitivity. I am a very sensitive person. I've always been a very sensitive person, and especially being so young, I remember people always used to notice that I was a sensitive person. People always pointed out that insecurity that I had in mine, because I always the type of person like, why do I always overthink stuff? Why am I always getting upset when somebody says this or when somebody does this? Little things people do sound like, okay, I know this person doesn't mean it that way, but it comes off a certain way, and it just kind of bothers me. To this day, I still battle with. I feel like everybody was just making it a negative thing. Like everybody's like, you're so sensitive, you're so sensitive. And I remember like feeling like I was the odd one out. I was the only sensitive person. It made me feel like I stuck out, and I didn't like that. It seemed like everybody's not bothered by certain things, but I'm bothered by it. So it made me feel like, you know, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I so bothered about this? Or it really was something that I had to battle with and be like, you know what, it's okay. But people were always just making it such a negative thing. And I remember sometimes I wouldn't even be upset about things, but people would just like use it against me. Say somebody did something to me that was like really messed up. I'd get mad and they'd be like, you're so sensitive. And I'm like, this is not even like a thing of sensitivity. This is just like you being a bad person, but you're trying to use my sensitivity against me. But like that's just something that I definitely battle with. The next thing is doubting myself. I always doubt myself, and I hate that about myself. I want to be the type of person that like doesn't care what people think about me. I feel like there's so many things that I'm capable of doing, but I can't do it because there's always that voice in my head that's telling me it's not good enough. Like my YouTube channel, I'll post videos, I'll be okay with it, and I'll look at somebody else's and be like, nope, it's not good enough. Or like I'll like ace a test and I'll get like a 95 or something. Somebody will get 100. I'm like, great, not good enough. I'm always doubting myself, and I hate that. And it's something that I definitely battle with. I always tell myself, God loves you, your family loves you, you're good enough. Like, stop doubting yourself, stop telling yourself you're not good enough. And it's something that I still battle with to this day. And I hate that. I wish I could be somebody who's like confident in myself. And you know what? I love myself no matter what, but I always am doubting myself, and I hate that. Whew, this tag is getting really deep. The next thing is my weight. So I did a video before about my weight and like how I feel about it. But when I was younger, I was a little bit over the weight that you had to be for my age. So I remember always getting comments from family and friends like, you're overweight, you're chubby, you're this and that. And I was the type of person, like, despite what people said, it never really clicked to me. I was oblivious of it. Like, people would say stuff, I'd be like, okay. I'd be insecure about it for like 10 seconds and I'd move on. I didn't really care about it. But then as I started to get older, it started to bother me even more. It made me feel like, okay, something's wrong with me. A bunch of people are saying it, so is there something wrong with me? I never really changed my eating habits or anything. Like, I definitely was more insecure about wearing certain things or doing certain things, but I was still like, you know what? I'm just going to just stick it out. I would always just kind of look at other people and be like, okay, well, she's pretty because she's thin, and I'm this because I'm so like curvy or plumpy or whatever. And then I started to grow up and started losing weight, and it wasn't because I was doing anything differently, and I just lost a ton of weight. And I remember everybody in my life had something to say about it. Like, still to this day, people are like, oh my gosh, like, you lost so much weight. It wasn't like I did it on purpose. I just lost it naturally. It just made me feel even more insecure. I started to go through like my old clothes that I had, and shorts that were the perfect size on me were too like, big. I looked at myself and I was just stuck in this thing of like, okay, I'm too skinny. Wait a second, I'm too big. Right now, I'm happy to say that I'm okay with my weight. I hate that. I hate thinking about myself in that way. The next thing is my hard hands. So my hands are not the softest, let me tell you. My hands, there's always this like thing of like, oh, girls have to have soft hands. I was insecure about it, but it never really hit me until people started saying that. And then I realized like, okay, I should be insecure about that because people actually look at it as a flaw. When I have to hold somebody's hand in church or like whatever, I feel so insecure that people are gonna be like, her hands are like really hard. Okay, sorry if like this frame looks like different. One thing that I was insecure about, and that is my collarbone. Okay, so my collarbone, it sticks out. Like, naturally, it just sticks out my entire life. And for some reason, people were always commenting on my collarbone. It was just a topic of discussion. Everybody would talk about it. And even to this day, people are like, your collarbone is sticking out. And it made me so insecure because that's just how my body is. But you know what? Even though I'm insecure about it, I'm gonna embrace it because that's my body and that's how God made me. Okay, the last thing that I don't like about myself. So this was like my #1 insecurity. So when I was younger, I had a bump on my face, and it was like this big black bump on the middle of my face. Every single day, people would always ask me about it because it was noticeable. It was on my face. It was something I could hide. Like, it was visibly there. And I remember like people always used to constantly ask me like, Tara, what's that on your face? Going to school and people just like constantly asking me about it. I went to parties, I went to whatever, and there was always one person that would be like, what is that? And it was such a big insecurity of mine because I thought of it as like this thing that just ultimately made me not pretty. People used to ask me and I'd feel like uncomfortable. I could tell people saw I was uncomfortable, but it never stopped them from asking the question. It's not as visible as it used to be. There's still a scar there. It's not necessarily gone, but like every once in a while I get people like, oh, what's that scar on your face? And it just like brings me back to that time. So now that I've talked about all the things that I do not like about myself, I'm gonna talk about the things that I do like about myself. We're gonna end this video on a positive note. So I'd like to think I'm a kind person. I'd like to think that I put others before myself. I always want people to be happy and smile. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I made a channel. So I'd like to think that I'm a kind person. The next thing that I like about myself is my smile. I genuinely like my smile. I think it's nice. I just like my smile. I like the way it looks. It's also one of those things that I get compliments on all the time. And the next thing that I like about myself is my eyelashes. I like my eyes and my eyelashes. Like, I like those two things just because like people are always like complimenting my eyelashes. They're like, your eyelashes are so nice. Oh my gosh, do you curl them? It's natural. Oh, so like I guess I just like my eyelashes because they're long and nice. My eyes were something I was definitely insecure about because it was like a dull brown. I love how nice they look, how they complement my face. So that's all that I have for today's video. If you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment down one thing that you like about yourself. It could be anything. One thing that you like about yourself, and then I'll know that you made it to the end of the video. I love you guys. Stay inspired. Know that you're beautiful and that everybody has insecurities. So it's okay, you're not alone. Nobody's perfect, but that's okay. Those things that you may not like about yourself, somebody may look at you and be like, you know what, I like you for that. Love you guys. Stay inspired. Bye.